let's talk just a minute about panel transitions using Scott McCloud's brilliant work, Understanding Comics. So I think it's in chapter 3. So let's take a look. Yes. So after a short discussion about gutters and the concept of closure, which is something that's highly recommended to read about, he discusses the types of panel transitions. So first is one that depicts a moment-to-moment time span. So as an example, a woman with her eyes open, a woman with her eyes closed. So in between those two panels, the mind does the action of the blink. Here there's somebody sleeping. There's a spider on the blanket. The next moment, the spider has advanced slightly. You can imagine that the spider is going to crawl into this character's mouth. It suggests moment to moment, right? Second type of transition is action to action. So it's a longer span of time, but it's depicting two distinct types of actions. They're very different. So here's the character's just standing, the next is swinging a bat, and he hit the ball. So a distinct thing happens, right? Here's another one, driving a car, crashing it into a tree, right? So it might be moment to moment, but the action here is crawling. Here is like the action is crashing, so it's distinct kind of action. Subject to subject. Here's where here the subject remains the same. The subject is the baseball player. The subject is the woman. Here the subject is these two characters. Here the subject is the cityscape at night. It's a transition from subject to subject. Subject is the character. Subject is the stopwatch. Transition type 4, scene to scene. This is a good example where the panels all depict a different city. Bombay, Paris, New York. It's changing scenes, right? Aspect to aspect, which is the one I'm going to do for this layout here, mostly. It's the whole set of panels is one scene, but depicts different aspects of that scene. Here we have a Christmas scene, but here's depicting a tree with gifts. Here's depicting a Santa Claus in the snow. Here's depicting a scene, an exterior scene. The sun, beautiful sun, a man sunning, and the sky. And then the final type of panel transition in non sequitur, that is, panels that seemingly have nothing to do with one another. So here's one of Richard Nixon and an abstract painting. They have nothing to do with one another, but it is a panel to panel transition nonetheless. And what's fascinating about this is that he analyzes various artists and different types of comics and counts the types of transitions, and he depicts them as a bar graph. So American superhero comics like Jack Kirby has a lot of action to action and not a lot of the other types of transitions. And Tintin, similar, right? So he breaks it all down, and then he shows how some other types of panel to panel transition distributions. Yeah. Tezuka does a lot more of aspect to aspect. Number 5. Mouse has a lot of 4, which is scene to scene. Very interesting. So I do want to incorporate some aspect to aspect, which tends to have a bit of a calming effect when you read, depending what is depicted within the panels, of course. And it's immersive because it places you in a scene. It shows you different aspects of the scene, so you are forming a mental picture of what the scene is, and you evoke the senses because you can show snow, you can show trees, you can show a bird fluttering. And you can really start to build this immersive experience using aspect to aspect. So a little diversion there, but that's the goal. There's going to be a few of these types of pages. The goal is immersion.